This episode of Disruption Nation is brought to you by a good friend of mine, Trisha Turner, EXP. Check her out. Boom! And we're live. Disruption Nation. We're back. I'm your host, Taylor Wadehofer. Chase Smith, the Good Label, real estate. I'm about to dive into his business. And, cool thing about the intro for him, is one of the first crypto real estate brokerage in Houston, right?
Possibly Texas.
Yeah. So,
we know.
And I love asking, the average age of a realtor is 54. And I love asking people about that. I'm like, hey, what do you know about that? Just, since we have been in communication, shout out to Savannah Buck for nominating, this fine young gentleman to be featured in the publication and also, here on Disruption Nation. But she was talking about it. I'm talking to other people, and I'm just, I like testing the waters in the market and conversation and seeing what the response is going to be. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to touch it.
Everyone hates it.
Nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Like, I've made people mad just by asking the question, So we'll get into that in a second. So he's been in real estate since 16. Let's see, August cover, masterclass we talked about. He worked offshore all around the world. Where'd you work offshore?
Like pretty much everywhere. So I got like Mexico, Gulf of Mexico, Trinidad, Tobago. I was there a lot. Pretty much just all over. Like even Houston rig yards, they had to have oil rigs that get shipped in parts. You pretty much go and inspect those. It was. I used to hang from the ropes doing rope access, so I'd hang underneath the rigs. So we'd do that.
You get paid more for that?
Man, you'd wish. It was like. It's the most dangerous job or second most dangerous job on a rig, but they don't even pay as much as like the floor deckhands that, they're like wrapping pipe with chains.
Was it fun? Was it kind of
It was so much fun. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, because you get to see marine life underneath you, and then you're hanging up from a derrick at like, 300 feet in the air, and one wrong move can kill you. So it's pretty cool.
Adrenaline off the charts.
Yeah. The first time I got trained in to do it, they strapped me up and then it kicked me off, like just the end of the leg of it. To kind
you bounce?
Yeah, you bounce. So like
it is like bungee.
Every inch is about 5 seconds of stomach dropping, like complete terror. So every inch of rope that goes down. So
anybody like try to fish while they're suspended?
Oh yeah,
300,
like with a bottle and a fishing line. Yeah,
I was joking, but I was like, it sounds cool. So
yeah, very highly not allowed. But when you're down there, no one else can be down there with you. So you're just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get some dinner for the night, and make a good relationship with the cook, and works out pretty well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're not too far off the Veterans Day mark. So he's rocking, got the Army gear today.
Veterans.
Yep. And man, I'm just happy to have you on the show. Thanks for being on Disruption Nation. It's a podcast where we highlight people that are disrupting their space in a positive way, and him and his partner Skylar are doing that on a lot of fronts. So yeah, thanks for checking us out. So let's start with why real estate, after the oil and gas from Houston, by the way, Northwest.
Born and raised.
Born and raised in H-Town, like me. We're native Houstonians, not too many of us anymore. But yeah, why'd you decide real estate?
I was in sales since I was like 13 and just trying to start like little lawn care businesses and like just stupid things here and there. And then I worked at McDonald's for my first ever job. When I was like 15, whenever they were legally allowed to hire people. So I did that for 6 months, absolutely hated it. But I wanted to get it under my belt just to kind of see exactly like what it was like. And it was the only place that would hire me to make money at that young of an age. And then I did that and then, started flipping cars in high school and made a lot of money doing that. So that got me out of the whole like game of fast fooding or just easy jobs, I guess, to get into.
Yeah.
And then after high school, started working offshore. So did that at about 19.
Where was Cutco?
Oh, Cutco was
offshore.
Was before offshore. That was in high school. So I would sell knives while selling cars, while doing that on the side.
Hustler, man, through and through.
And then I ran my own office in Montgomery or with another girl, and then we rocked it there. Jonathan Whitman was a good.
Shout out to Jonathan Whitman. Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine. We were both with the company at the same time.
He was a badass. He was awesome. He was cool.
And I think I might have known, but I forgot. And when I was watching the live feed, and you said that on the panel, and I was like, really?
A lot of people don't even know that. But honestly, selling cocoa and selling houses is very similar. I just don't have to go to the door with like lethal weapons anymore and get inside. Now it's just myself. So it's kind of nice. There's a lot of easier transition from Cutco to selling houses. It's about the same. So it was a good little foot in the door to do that. So I would recommend it to anybody that's a teenager or even older.
How'd you find this guy?
So me and Skylar worked we paired up at we met each other at an old brokerage of mine and that I started at, and he kind of poured into me and kind of gave me some little nuggets of advice here because he's been in the game a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Made a good friendship. He loves food. I love to eat food, so we decided to show. He's really involved with, some great places to eat at, great places to go. So, and I was kind of new to the city of Houston. I've lived in Houston, but never, I was still a young kid living in the suburbs. So I just never really got to get into the Houston life. So he kind of like showed me all that and kind of connected, became really good friends. And we're always there to kind of support each other for the business life. And decided just to kind of launch that out into Good Label and do it full time. So.
What part of the city did you move to from the suburbs?
I was moved to I moved to the apartment close to Washington, and then I bought a house after a couple years in real estate in Sawyer Heights area. Cool. It was on the come up, and this was before Buffalo Bayou came in. So I saw the opportunity there to kind of get some real estate in. No one knew what was going on, and it was a great investment. So and I love it.
Happy with it?
I freaking love it. It's a great location. If you ever look in Sawyer Heights, it's like one of the most unknown underground. Like still untapped, I think, for a lot of people, but love the area. It's awesome.
All right, so let's see, y'all's niche with your brokers with the Good Label. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the name real quick, and then I got some more questions.
The Good Label. I mean, there's a lot of different things that kind of accumulated on that. We've got a lot of good feedback, and people love the name, and we love
Scotch. How many people say that? Scotch whiskey. It reminds me.
Like Black Label,
sure.
Blue Label, all that stuff. So a lot of these companies, it's kind of where we wanted to go, and what we saw in the real estate industry when it comes to agents or houses. They have MLS and a lot of this info that stays true, but we wanted to keep it as simple as possible, being as honest as possible with people. So, we launched like a Good Label guarantee, which is like, pre-inspections before and, cool. Doing all that. Like Austin Market does that a little bit, which we found out later.
Did you say pre or free?
Pre, which is free basically because it's free for the client. So what we do is as long as certain houses that are in sound shape, we want to be as honest as possible about the house. And typically it's gotten like major returns for our clients that do that. So it's just something different that we do.
So I'm just curious. So does the inspector get paid on the back end?
No, they get paid on the front.
They get paid on the front end. So the client doesn't pay later.
Yeah, client pays like closing or whatever the case may be. But it's just something in marketing that we can do, and sometimes we'll cover it too. Just depends on the house, depends on the case. Yeah. But it's just something cool marketing wise. And then we have we did something cool with marketing where we do nutrition labels for houses. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's like the most easiest way to read about a home. So for our marketing, that's what we do is to match with the Good Label is do a nutrition label for the house, which is very like simple, but people love it.
It's catchy.
Yeah. It's like it's it's for branding.
100%. It's gonna it'll separate you.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a ton of real estate companies out there, so being creative and knowing how to like add value to your clients and being really cool with the marketing, I think is what really separates, up and coming companies, especially like ours. So.
100%. The last two conversations I've had on Disruption Nation with agents have all had something cool, different that I haven't heard before. You know, and it's like, how do you do that when there's 40,000 plus agents in a city?
Yeah. It's not everyone.
That's how you do it. You don't have to get something like super complicated, right? That sounds pretty.
Keep it simple.
That's
how we do it, and clients like it too. I think more so than anybody else. That's who we're doing it for, and then it helps our agents, excel and kind of stand out as well, doing simple things like that. So that's what we try to disrupt a little bit.
We're about to disrupt the conversation with the crypto first, brokerage in Houston to offer that. So that was one of the parts when I was watching the live feed because that's where I wanted to dig in, when you were on the panel and I couldn't because I was watching it from home. So and again, shout out to Patent Title and Savannah Buck for nominating this guy, and when she did, and I knew you, and it's been fun watching you grow your business from afar. Yeah, exactly. And so I knew you. I was like, okay, cool. I know him. He's a cool guy. I was like, dang. He's like, you're coming up, right? And she's like, yeah. And first crypto brokerage in Houston, and that just sounds sexy and it's got an appeal to it. And love it or hate it, I don't know. It is what it is. So
it's a love-hate relationship with people.
What is it?
Yeah. So how that usually works is that and I mean, hopefully I have a lot of great ideas for how that can expand on there. But right now, as you can see, the market for stocks and crypto is just dropping crazy rapidly. So a lot of people aren't talking about it, but ideally when you want to invest in stuff like that is when people aren't talking about it. So like we are a big proponent of like, at times of recession is where normal people can get in the space at a very easy, agreeable price. That's way better than when it's at the height, when it was like, just to bring in Bitcoin for a second, it was like 68, 70, 65,000 for, I think its peak, or 68. So now that it's down to about 16, 14 sometimes on any given day, it's really easy now for the average person to jump into something and kind of get educated with it and see the ideas of what you can do with it. But I stayed up many nights trying to research on how this can integrate real estate. And there's other great people before me that I've kind of jumped on, their bandwagons and took what they've learned and kind of mixed it with ours. Super easy to do though, and it's I think in the next maybe 5-10 years it's going to revolutionize the industry. Not necessarily crypto, but the blockchain technology behind it. Crypto's going to go up and down, and there's going to be coins made, and they're just coins to back another coin, like modern day currency. But for us, we see the value in the technology that it's going to bring and the speed to close. Because right now, I mean, to be honest with you, the industry hasn't changed in 50-something years. It's just the same
Time is
thing.
money. People want to save time. Once the big companies figure it out, then it's going to it'll start trickling down.
Yeah, and I think right now we're just waiting on big companies to fund it. And the biggest thing, like this company called Milo that does crypto lending. So they're the first company out of Miami that can actually lend on a home on your crypto. They lend up to like, I need to check on this. I think it's like 75% or something like that, or 70-80%. In a rising crypto market though, when you have an entry point of 10,000, it's now worth 60. It's a big loan you just made for doing nothing.
Yeah.
So when it has the come up is when people are going to start taking those loans out. Last 2 years we haven't had that kind of company coverage to kind of come in there and disrupt the lending market like that, because there were so many unknowns and what the government's going to do. But they're the first ones to do it, and so they've been doing it. So we're gonna, it's one of the companies that we see that's kind of disrupting the lending side, which we would be happy to work with. But for our clients, that's awesome because they have another lending source where they're not affected by government rates. They can get rates from a private company now.
Okay, what if they, crypto deposit here, market tanks, or crypto does, and then you're stuck with, a note $40,000 above whatever, the crypto might not cover anymore. Like, how do you,
and that's
how do you handle that? How do you pop that fear bubble?
Yeah, and that's the thing is about the lending side is that that'll be mostly a question, probably more so for them. I think for us, what we're really going towards is the transactional side. We want to be just like in real estate. We're trying to stay in our lane, not necessarily trying to be the crypto lender, and I think there's a lot of liability we don't even want for that, but not our space either. So what we do is that we just try to make sure that if the seller is willing to accept that, whether it's be cash or Bitcoin, there's an avenue for both. Obviously, for tax reasons, people will deposit Bitcoin to each other, and this is only for stable coins. So like Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is a big one. Those are two stable ones that are really popular. For those two, you can, if the seller will take that instead of cash, it saves tons on taxes, like thousands.
Okay.
So there's the benefit for that. But if they want it to do cash, then instead of having to cash out your crypto, which sucks, because right now you have to pay like I think it's like 25% on just that, not even considering the income that comes from it. So people don't want to cash it out, so they're waiting for these lenders to come in. So they're saying, hey, I'll loan against it at a lower percentage rate instead of having to cash it out and pay taxes on all of it. So
is that where you're getting, like, where are the commercial lenders that you're utilizing that are excited about?
There's not really commercial lenders. Milo's really the biggest one.
Maybe not commercial, but just crypto lenders, I guess.
Yeah, so the one that there's a lot out there, but there's a lot of it's such a wild, wild west space. You got to be very careful who you throw out there, who you work with, because you never know. Like, there's even exchanges right now that are going bankrupt from just mismanaging funds. You can see that in Facebook news.
Don't let that happen to you. Be careful.
Yeah, be careful of that. Don't over leverage. All right, so don't take loans out on crypto unless you have something to back it up and get another asset against.
Yeah.
So what we do is that we show people you can mitigate. Let's say you do want to take a loan out on crypto. People were just buying more crypto with it. Instead, why don't you take that money and buy into a safer asset class, which is real estate. So that's what we do. We just show them a different route. That's a lot safer than going in and trying to buy another big coin that may or may not shoot up. So we just provide another avenue for that. And then also it helps our sellers with people that when the market's up, it helps our sellers a ton because we just have provided a whole nother avenue of lead source from people that have money and they want to spend it. There's kind of new money in the game, kind of like Great Gatsby. So they're willing to let it go for something a lot less than, let's say, someone that worked years to obtain it, right? So they're wanting to park it somewhere where it's a lot safer. And you can kind of tell with the market the way it is, that's a great place to do it in, especially in real estate.
So
that's what we provide.
I didn't prep him on the questions I'm about to ask you, so it's okay if you don't know the answer to all these. So how many transactions did y'all do last year? Well, hold on, this year, because they started the Good Label, by the way, January 7th or something.
Yeah, so this year we've been growing our team very, very slowly, and we do that on purpose. We're not just hiring just anyone with a license. We've kind of wanted to take a different approach and to get more value add out of agents and agents that are really good at what they do, that really strive to be the best in their industry. That's what we look for.
Okay.
So we have, I think, about 6 people on our team now, and we're looking to still grow that. So hopefully we'll be at like 20, by the end of the year. But we've interviewed a lot of people, and we're very selective on who we pick. So obviously, the more agents we have, the more transactions is going to happen. But right now, it's been like me and Scott and the other 4 agents. I think right now we're at, I think like in the 20s or 30s, but our average price point's at around $500,000 or so. So it's,
okay.
Yeah.
What percentage of those transactions are you having this conversation with?
Really none right now. And that's okay, because this is really to be planning for us to plan out the future. This is not something that we would actually go to like a normal person to. We usually only have this conversation that people reach out to us about it. So we just make it known, and then if they want to open up that dialogue for that, then that's the case. Now with listings, that's a whole other conversation, because this is a value add that they didn't even know existed that we kind of bring to the table. It's more like educating them on this.
And that part I like. So like, I mean, are on the listing side, like when you're offering being able to have the resources to be a crypto it's service along with your okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we just opened up another value add. There's I don't know if a lot of people watch Selling Sunset. So there's a realtor on there that's kind of like the villain. She actually started the same kind of company in California, which is a crypto consulting brokerage. And we were doing it at the same time, apparently, that she was, but she launched it out. She has, really, obviously, she's on a TV show. She gets great media coverage, but she's also doing it as well. So they're going to start noticing that space starting to open up a lot. And when the market's good is when you're going to start seeing it flood in with, with people that are potentially wanting to do that. So we're just going to be there for that when that happens.
So Houston's one of the best relo cities in the nation.
4th largest, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I know, but for relocations,
relocations, absolutely.
Relocation, people were coming over here. I mean, I've been watching it happen for a while, and anyways, post COVID, it's just it's great for us, right?
It's awesome.
It's good for these.
We love our relos, so just hit us up.
I know. So where's crypto around the country popular? Like in real estate.
Man, Miami is killing it.
Miami's. Okay.
Miami is where it's at right
is
now.
That where the guys are that you're studying?
Yeah,
a
lot of these startup companies that are tech companies, they're not going to California to do this. They're going to Miami to do it. And the laws are very catering to.
It's working
crypto.
over there. Is it friendly in California?
It is. But what's crazy is that Texas is the biggest mining state out of the entire United States. We mine the most. But Miami is.
I bless Texas.
Yeah, Miami is the one that we get the shit done. We get everything transactional wise. All the new up and comers, all the disruptors in the space, that's where they're kind of residing at. So in the South, unfortunately in Houston, I've kind of noticed we're very slow to kind of take on new things, and that's just because we're bigger state. I think there's a lot more pieces that have to be moved around for it. Politics is a big thing of that too. Yeah. So we know the value is going to be here, and it's going to be when people know that they can close on a house in 30 seconds to a minute versus 30 days. That's like, why would you not want to do that?
That's when it's game over. That's when that side of the business industry will capitalize market share, and people are going to start paying attention, and it's going to put a lot of people out of business depending on the industry and which way.
Titles,
which way.
Yeah, title. At the beginning there was a big myth going around that title insurance was not going to be needed anymore. Title companies are still going to be needed through this entire process. Title insurance is still more valid than it is with anything else. You're going to pay taxes differently on a process like that for that speed. But the convenience is nice when you have a market that's going to be going on a downtrend or an uptrend and you want to catch it really quick. The speed matters with a lot of that stuff. And the number one thing about 2008, bankruptcies was they didn't have the time to get out. And in real estate, the biggest thing that sucks about the exit is the exit. It's like you can't click a button like you can in crypto and sell it.
That's true. You're sitting there
suffering. You got to wait till a buyer comes, and like this kind of mitigates that completely. So having a good platform to jump on that and be able to have access to that and sell your home like you could anything else that's an asset is like paramount. I think that's where the industry's wanting to go. Yeah. So we're planning on taking it there.
I know it's uncomfortable, like a lot of things for a lot of people that aren't familiar with it, but just like anything else, once you get used to it and kind of figure it out and you figure out where there's going to be some substantial value, right, for the people that you're servicing, that's when it's a win, for the real estate community, the buyers and the sellers, and all parties involved.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just being there. I don't think right now we're going to be doing lots of crypto transactions. That's not where I see. We are very much a luxury, regular real estate company like anything else. We're just adding another layer to it. So we want to be known for doing regular, obviously, real estate being great and having great agents and talent for that. But we also want to add another facet to it that can, grow the business in a way that no one else is looking.
That's
and
true.
Technically, when you're growing or when you're trying to grow a business, you want to go where no one else is going,
Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing.
Be poised, you'll be ready. Tell people, please, how to get a hold of you. If anybody has any questions for you.
Yeah, my Instagram is Bayou City Realtor. My email is chase@thegoodlabelre.com. If you need to get a hold of me for any of those, that's how to reach me on social media, for email. Phone number, I'm not going to give that out here, but you can DM me for that.
There you go.
Yeah. And then, so we would love to talk with you about any kind of real estate needs you have or any questions you have about where the market's going, what your house is valued at. We just provide a different marketing package that's like cool, unique, and something that we think a lot of people gravitate towards. So I hope to help people out doing that.
Speaking of that, video gravitation, I'm about putting out a bunch of videos within what I'm doing on social and the rest. So and I love watching the real estate community and how they're utilizing video. Yeah, it's so cool. Because I'm watching people, real estate agents that I know. Well, some of them I did know, or in some even if I don't know them, but I was like, I promise, I guarantee you that person 8 years ago, 10 years ago, there's no way they'd be making a video. And now they're doing that, right? So,
yeah.
All right, all that to say this, what the hell do y'all do, to differentiate yourself? What kind of videos do you like to post? Which platform, frequency, however you want to answer it, because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat when it comes to videos and social, but, what's your forte?
We like, for us, we like doing it professional. I'm not personally like on a TikTok space like a lot of other realtors are, and I think it's a great space to be in, but it's something for us. We like to model after really high quality things because we want to kind of mimic our brand of high quality service and high quality agents, and that's where we strive to be. So a lot of our videos are, we've been through a lot of videographers trying to figure out like what a good recipe for us is, like that mimics our brand, and we're still trying to even build that as it goes. But we found some good ones that we like. So really it just creates, for our videos, we just want excitement. We want like more nostalgia more than anything. So like for me, like it's getting worked on now, but I have a 56 T-Bird that I usually put in my videos. Gotten really good feedback for those, and I take clients out in it, so it creates like a cool client experience for it.
For sure.
But it's kind of like we want to project a timeless experience for what we want our clients to experience, and as far as like our videos, we can project that better with those. So that's kind of where we're at with the IG, but we love more reels more than anything, if that kind of answers that platform for Instagram.
Sure.
And then we kind of switch those over to TikTok.
Same video or
with the same videos, or we'll have like different versions. Most of these videographers will release different versions.
True.
So we'll just put on one page this version, put our personal pages this one, and that way it gives value for people wanting to jump and follow different pages because they're going to get different content. So
frequency.
That's how we do it.
What's your frequency on IG?
What do you mean as far as frequency goes?
Just like reels, how often, how many times a day, week, month?
This year we've been slacking a little bit because we've been trying to, just build the regular foundation of the whole thing. But next year, we really plan on going really heavy on videos, getting in more of a studio space, maybe even a podcast, if that's something that we want to kind of venture into. We're looking at that. And then doing more videos, probably like we're trying to do like five a month, like 5 professional good ones a month.
Yeah.
And then having just regular, maybe day-to-day market videos in between. But we're very heavy on videos, especially for like intro to clients or exit to clients, or like, we like relying on that. It's way more personable than a flyer. But I still believe in flyers. I think they're great. But if you want to
100%.
excel and add that other layer, go do something that's really cool, something that's different. Yeah. So we just like to be more interactive with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, just you remind me of something that I've been doing for about a year and a half. Don't do it all the time, but I try to be good and consistent with it. But, like after this, making a little selfie video for you. Thank you for being a guest on the show or whatever, like a meaningful conversation that I had, that week. And man, if I could toss out 8-10 of those a week, that
absolutely.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
People appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then, and I think about this all the time because, people talk about the handwritten note. It's like nobody does it anymore. And like, I'm guilty of it. I don't write many handwritten notes, maybe a couple.
See, there's companies that'll do it for you.
Christmas. That is true. But
wouldn't recommend that.
I'm like, I'm going to do a video. That's more than reading. I mean, I get it. But, I also think that's not something that a lot of people do also, right?
I think if you're extroverted, this is easier. If you have an extroverted personality and you're okay with doing this is 20 times easier than sitting down for us when your brain's moving 100 miles an hour trying to collect your words together.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In my texts, they're misinterpreted all the time. I'm a shitty writer, so I may as well just say it because then at least you can hear, how
absolutely.
it's supposed to be communicated.
I have that same issue, so it's all good.
It's funny. And then Siri doesn't help. But anyway, all right. So, a couple questions before we get out of here for you. What's the best advice you ever got, and who gave it to you?
Ooh, best advice I ever got. It just depends on. I guess it really just depends on the scenario. I know you've heard probably a lot. People say consistency, and these are all really good things. I think for me was learning how to use the tools that I had. This is just more layered on top of that. Use the tools that you have efficiently, and then learn how to delegate your time through the days to be able to help more people. So that's your entire job for being in real estate. So being more efficient with your time and using your tools to do that, for me, that was paramount. Because it makes you excel and grow a lot quicker.
Yeah, scale, building blocks.
Yeah, scalability is everything over here, and that's just like if you're a public company in the stock market, you got to always keep growing. So, it's a responsibility that a lot of people don't want, but it's paramount to do what you got to do. So
gotcha. Dream vacay.
Dream vacay. Probably, I've been to Colombia and I love Colombia, but I'd probably say
is that up there though?
Yeah, it's like top place I'll probably
top
travel
three.
To. Yeah, Medellin and Cartagena are like my favorite two spots.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I got a buddy. I've missed 2 trips to Colombia in the last 6 months.
It's awesome.
It's on the list. I want to go.
Yeah, I think for me, a dream vacation right now would probably be like Tokyo. I think I'd probably want to go to Tokyo.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
I think
it's just opened back up, so it's ready to go now.
Gotcha.
They closed it down for a while, so that'd be my dream vacation, I think.
Last book that you read or your favorite book?
Last book I read was Winning by Tim Glover. So that was a really good book. He's the guy that trained Michael Jordan. So he has a couple books out, I think maybe like 2 or 3. But that was the one I picked up out of his. That's the last book I read. And great book for trying to get a mindset of like what it takes to really, excel. And sometimes people kind of take it the wrong way of how you have your attitudes of wanting to be good. Because not everybody wants to excel and grow at a pace like that. So, he kind of explains it a little bit more on how don't bash yourself when it comes to that, and what the mindset of how to do that. He trained Kobe Bryant too, so good book.
Gotcha.
I like it.
Fantastic. What about dream car?
69 GTO. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Respect. What's your favorite type of music or band? Artist?
I like everything. It doesn't really matter. I can go to a 90s rock bar or listen to like Migos, if it's cool.
All across the board.
Yeah, all across
the
board.
You're never going to be complaining about the music. So.
No. I mean, I got a cowboy hat for the rodeo I wear for country music even, so it's all good. It's like you just got to hang out with everybody, That's
all right. So suburb kid, in real estate. Then, then you moved into town. Welcome to Uptown, or Heights area. But so favorite restaurants, give me a couple of them.
Crawfish and Noodles, which Skylar showed me, really great place. I like that.
Where's that one?
It's in Bel Air. They have a new location opening up in 7709.
Crawfish Noodle?
Crawfish and Noodles. Yeah, great place. It's been on Netflix a lot. Chris Shepard debuts them all the time on their Netflix series.
Okay.
Any Chris Shepard restaurant's always really good. Let's see. And then, I would say, the steakhouse, B&B Butchers is probably like my top fave, but I'm going to get like so much flack for that one because everyone likes Steak 48 and all that. But B&B Butchers is my favorite. So if you're looking for a good steak, and it's close to the house. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
What's your favorite product or brand that you cannot live without?
Apple all day long for my phone. Yeah,
Same.
Phone and headphones. So that's a given. Easy on that one.
Yeah. No, I have people on all the time asking that, and I know what it is. Like 100% is your phone. There's
I pick that thing up right when I wake up, right? So it's just bad. I shouldn't probably do that, but it's my alarm clock.
Yeah, there you go. You're excused. That's about it, man. I'm about to get us out of here, but tell people one more time how they can get a hold of you.
Chase Smith. You can get a hold of me on Instagram, Bayou City Realtor, or at my email at chase@thegoodlabelre.com. And like I said, I'll send you my phone number that way too if you want to get in touch. Best ways to get in touch with me or go to our website at thegoodlabelre.com. That's a great way to kind of see what our content looks like, see what we're about, see our team, and see how we can help you out.
There you go, Chase.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for being on, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out to hooksouth.com. We're in the Hook South Studios in Galveston Island on 61st Street right now. Shout out to Anthony. He's about to take my boys, my parents fishing. Take my dad, mom, you're staying at home, and she'll be happy about that. But no, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This has been a ton of fun being here today. So Disruption Nation, again, show podcast platform where we highlight people that are disrupting in their space in a positive way. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, or download on your favorite podcast app. And if you or someone you know is doing that, right? They're disrupting their space, reach out, send me a DM. Love to have a conversation. And that's what we do. We, put awesome businesses on blast in the spotlight because they deserve it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.